Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. In today's video, we are diving into Sublime, Affine, and spaceduck because we are talking about applications I am super excited about. There are so many applications right now to be excited about. So I thought that I would make this into a series of videos. I could do all of them in one, but that would end up becoming like a really long video. So in this part of the series, we are covering spaceduck, we are covering affine, and we are covering sublime. Sublime and spaceduck are actually two applications I am currently using. Sublime I've been using for a while now. I have also been lucky enough to interview the founder of Sublime, and I also got gifted the Sublime lifetime plan because I covered them a lot last year. So they gifted me um, the lifetime subscription earlier this year. But let's actually just jump into Sublime as the first application. What I really like about Sublime um, is just the new idea of a second brain. I am not using it as a second brain. I am using it as more of a typical commonplace book. So here you can see some of the stuff that I have. So what is productivity, thought-provoking? I think this one is empty. It is. But I have a few. Let's go back. I have uh, a few different collections here. So you can see my collections right here. I have a few. I have one private one, but most of mine are actually public ones. And you can see I have a lot of them. I use the web clipper to capture things when I'm on the computer or on my Mac. And then I go through them from time to time. What I really like about this application is that I can click into this and I can see all of the stuff that are related to my card, or I can jump into the book right here and I can see what everyone else has highlighted. So this is sort of a blend between personal knowledge base and like shared knowledge base, and that is what I really like about it. So here you can see I have a bunch of stuff and I get a notification every time someone actually uses one of my cards or puts it into their collection. You can capture things with the web clipper, or you can also upload things right here, or write or paste links. And you can also use canvas, which are whiteboards. Not something I've used because I'm not using this as my second brain. But if you are using it as your second brain, that might actually be a great tool. There is also a Kindle and a Readwise integration. The next application is called spaceduck, and this is a blend between your traditional bookmarking tool and more of a project management tool. So here you can see some of the project management stuff I have right here, or these are actually just my wish list, or at least some of it. And I can change the status from right here to do, which just changes the status, and you get a little pop-up in the right corner. And if I now do at and I do category, I can filter it by wish list. I can add more if I wanted to. So I could filter by tag, for example, because this application does auto tagging. So here you can see it tags the stuff for me, so I don't have to whenever I capture something. And it also gives me a screenshot and a summary. I don't need a summary of my wish list stuff, so that hasn't been something I've tried or looked into. But as you can see, the spaces also work more as like project management tools. So you can change the target date. You can have a status on your spaces as well. So if I jump into my social media ideas, here you can see more of the project management side of things. So here I have like different categories for a type of social media. So this is a blog idea and it is a document, and I can move things around. I can also turn it into a Kanban. I really like the Kanban. So here, let's just move some of these into the to do, and you can see that the status updates from right here. I have now I've moved every single one of them. I can move them back. So, and I can also edit the workflow and the colors here as well. So it is a visual application, as you can see, a really visual application. And if I search for something like Sublime, this video should pop up right here. And it is a visual application and a project management tool and a bookmarking tool. And it also has a lot of AI stuff. It has AI settings, it has related content, and it also has linking, so backlinks and outgoing links. This application is a new one, so there is still a lot of work that needs to be done, but I really like the idea of this application, because if I now jump into my wish list, which I showed you earlier, you can see that there is a database here. I don't like the databases for project management, and that is mainly because there is no good filtering options, but I can add a bunch of properties, for example, a relation property to match two things together. And I've done that with my meetings and my persons, so that I always can connect a person to a meeting. Here you have my podcast ideas. So the application is not perfect. It still needs a lot of work, but I am a big fan of the idea, and it is an application I am currently testing out as my like main note-taking and productivity application, and I have really enjoyed the experience of the application so far. But it has changed a lot even in the month I've been using it. So they are releasing a lot of new features and fixing a lot of bugs weekly. Now let's go into Fine. So a Fine is a different one. Just like spaceduck, it is a visual productivity application. So visual is really important in this application. If I just open something up, this is my local workspace, so I don't have a profile here. But this is how the page looks. This is like my page looks really similar to Notion, for example. And here you have the databases as well. You can add different types of properties, like a progress, a select, attachment, member, checkbox. There are a bunch to choose from, but that is not the selling point of this application. The selling point of this application is that I can actually turn this into this instead. So my page turns into this. It turns into uh, a whiteboard. Let's just go ahead and remove that with all of the whiteboard applications. So you can also see, or with all of the whiteboard features, you can also see that this is displayed in page. If I click this, this is also displayed in page. I can add a new note. So let's add a note. This is a test note. So I can add a note, I can do backslash functionality inside of here. So let's do backslash and add a code block, for example. So there are a lot of things I can do. I can also ask AI about that. So there are a bunch of things you can do with this. And now I'm done with that. I can jump into this one instead and move things around. I can add shapes. There are a lot of different abilities you have in an application like this. And you can also make sure that everything you put in here also shows up in your page if you ever wanted to do that. That is not something I've done for this video, but basically that's the whole selling point. The whole selling point is that whatever happens here will also happen here. You also have daily pages and other features that you would expect in a note-taking application. If I just open this one as well, just to show you another example, it has a lot of the features you would expect in note-taking, but apart from that, it also has this whiteboarding, which is super important. So, or super cool and also important. But you can see that it is a really cool idea. And uh, again, the main point of this application, just like the two other ones I've covered, is that they do something different. And I think that is really important in a really saturated market. So that is what I am looking for. I'm looking for something different. And something that is different but also good, of course. And that is what I will be covering in a lot of these videos. But that covers it for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching.